Namaste. In this session, we are going to look at column transformer part 2. Now, if you remember column transformer part 1, then we so conveniently excluded all the missing values when we said drop NA in place is equal to true, because I said that time that to make the learning curve easy, I'll exclude all the missing values. And in a later class, we will look at an example which has missing values and how to use column transformer and pipeline in that case. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing now. So now I have imported all the necessary libraries and classes. I have also loaded in the income evaluation dataset with NA values is equal to question mark. So if I check my df.columns, I see there's a leading space before some columns. So I'll get rid of those using this dot string dot strip. So now my columns look a little better. Now if I do a dot df dot is NA dot sum, I see that my work class, occupation and native country are missing values, and all of these three are categorical columns. So just to spice things up a little, I'll infuse missing values in numerical columns as well. So if I check my df.index, it is ranging from 0 until 32,560. So if we check here, it is going from 0 until those 32,561 numbers. Okay. Now from np.random.choice, I'll be choosing 40 random integers from this df.index array, and with replacement is equal to false. So these are the 40 numbers selected by NumPy with this random seed. Okay, so at these locations in the dataset, I'll infuse a missing value in the age column. Similarly, for a different random seed and for the same size, that is 40 numbers, I'll infuse 40 missing values in hours per week column. So after that, if I check now, my age has 40 missing values and hours per week has 40 missing values. Now I will split up my dataset into training and testing set, which is of utmost importance because no amount of data preprocessing should be done on the entire dataset. Everything that needs to be done should be on the training set, and that should be propagated to the testing set. Now to make the coding part a little easier, I have segregated the numerical columns into numCalls column, and I have kept a track of the categorical columns via this catcalls variable. And if you check here, I have said that for cat calls, so give me all the columns in xtrain.columns if xtrain of column.d types is equal to object and column is not equal to education. That is because if I check here, so now I find that bachelor's has a number 13 and high school grad has number 9, again bachelor's has 13. So this is basically an ordinally encoded column of this education column. Okay, so this education column is now redundant as everything has been converted into an ordered number. So ordering does matter here, right? Because bachelor's is greater than high school grad, so hence 13 is greater than 9, and high school grad is greater than 11, hence 9 is greater than 7, etc. So we'll exclude the education column from our calculations. So now we'll be looking at two approaches for achieving our purpose here. The first approach is a not so good and an unscalable approach, and the second one is a good approach which is also scalable. So this is the approach that we have to use in our machine learning projects. But just to make you understand why not to use a particular approach and why to use the other one, I'll show you an example here. Now our first step is to fill up the missing values because our machine learning model can't handle missing values. Okay, so to fill up the missing values, I'll for example say that I want to fill up the age missing value with the median value and also for the hours per week with the median value. So my first column transformer, I'll make a column transformer here and I'll say column transformer. I'll pass in a list here. Now first thing what I'll do is I'll say simple imputer underscore num, and my object is simple imputer object, so this class. Okay, and my strategy, I'll say strategy is equal to median, and I'll also add an indicator column to keep a track of which rows had missing values. And now for the third element of this column transformer, I have to pass in the numerical columns, right, which have missing values. But I'll pass in the whole of num calls here. So scikit-learn will automatically understand that which have missing values and infuse the missing values with the median values. So rest of the columns will not be affected in any way, even if we just pass in the whole num calls object here. So now just let us see what happens if I do what I'm just about to do now. So now I'll say my missing values have been filled up. Okay, so I just check if that is the case. So I'll say ct1 dot fit transform x underscore train. Okay, so this is my so now since remainder is equal to drop here, okay, so by default remainder is equal to drop. So when I execute this again, I get the same result. So all my other columns have been dropped here. Okay, so if I do a simple pd.data frame on this, it tells me I have 8 columns here. So why 8? 8 because my 6 columns were my numerical columns and the 2 other columns are my indicator columns, whether the age and hours per week column had missing values or not. So now simple mistake what we can do is we can say that since now missing values have been filled up, I can also do a robust scaling here as well, because we need to scale the values, right? They are on different scales. So if I do robust scaler underscore num, if I name this step as this, I do a robust scaler and on the num calls here. So now what we would imagine is after filling up the missing values, we will do the robust scaler on these columns. Okay, so let us see if our understanding is correct. So now if I'll name this cd2. Now if I do a cd2.fit transform to check what is my output. Okay, I'll execute this. Now you see I'm getting 14 columns now. So why 14? So this is the problem with repeating the column names in multiple column transformer steps. Okay, so what has happened here is basically if you check from 0 until the 7, this is the same output that we have here from 0 until 7, but from 8 until 13, these are the 6 columns, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these columns are now my robust scaled columns. So what happened basically was that when I fitted my cd2 object on my X train, first it saw the first step of simple imputer. It imputed all the missing values. Then somewhere in memory, it saved this kind of an array. Okay, and then in the second step, it saw a robust scalar. So on these values now, it calculated the robust scalar. So from 8 until 13, these are the robust scaled values. And then after coming out of the column transformer, it basically concatenated the two arrays. And hence now we have 14 columns instead of the 8 columns that we wanted. Okay, so hence one thing to remember from here is that we cannot have a same column name in multiple steps of the same transformer. Okay, so in each step the column names should be unique. So that is the thing. Okay, so now we'll be working on this ct1 again. ct2 was just to show you that we cannot use the same column names in multiple steps. So in ct1 I imputed all the missing values of the numerical columns, and now what I'll do is I'll make a ct3 object. So just don't get confused what we are doing. I'm just trying to show you what approach works and what approach does not work. Okay, so now my ct3 object here, after imputing the numerical columns, I'll also impute the categorical columns here itself. So it will work this time because column names are not overlapping. So I'll do a simple imputer and then I'll set my strategy equal to constant because these are the categorical columns. I'll set my fill value to be missing, and my next is add indicator. So I want to set add indicator is equal to true. I want to do it on the cat calls columns. Okay, so once I do this, now if I fit my ct3 object on my X train, so if I do a fit underscore transform on my X train, I get the desired output. So what has happened here is if I do a dot data frame dot head, I'll see now I have 17 columns. Now I have just what I've done is I've imputed all the missing values. So these won't have any missing values. So if I just want to check it out, I can say dot is na dot sum dot sum. Again, I have 0, which means there are no missing values in this data set now. Okay. So now, so this is my just a full data set with no missing values. Okay, I have not done any kind of encoding or any kind of robust scaling or any kind of feature scaling on this. So this is going to be my next step. So my next step now is going to be to robust scale the numerical columns and one hot encode the categorical columns. Okay, awesome. So how will I do that? I'll make another object here. I'll say column transformer, and here now what is going to be my first step? I'm saying rob underscore num to do the robust scaling. robust scaler. Should I say num calls here? Will this work? Okay, now we'll see if it works or not. In just a moment. Now I'll say one hot encode underscore categorical columns and do one hot encoding on this. Now on what columns do I want to do one hot encoding? On cat calls. Now we'll just see if this approach works. Okay, so now if I try to fit my CT4 object on xtrain, let us see what errors we get, because we are surely going to get an error. So what is this error? Input contains nan. So this is because when I fit my xtrain still has missing values, right? My transformed xtrain doesn't have missing values after the transformation of CT3, but my xtrain does have missing values, and hence this approach is not going to work. So what I need to do here is I need to use this transformed dataset as my input to my CT4 column transformer, right? Because this transformed output doesn't have missing values. So what are my column names? I have to go from 0 until 5, right? Because 6 and 7 are indicator columns which do not need any scaling. So from 0 until 5 I need to do the robust scaling, and hence here I need to pass list of range of 6. So if I check what this list of range of 6 is doing, this is going from 0 until 5, because scikit-learn has removed all the column names, and hence we now have to work with these integers. Okay, so I now have to do robust scaling on these numbers, and my one hot encoder on from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So on all these columns I need to do one hot encoding. So what is that interpretation? I'll have to say list of range of start from 8 and go until 18. So 18 will be excluded. So I now have 8 until 17. Okay, so this is the column names that I have to use here. Wonderful. Okay, now I will not use xtrain here, but what I will use is this output, right? Because this ct3.fit transform xtrain didn't have any missing values. Now what I can do is, for simplicity, I can name it x transformed is equal to, so this is the variable now, and I can pass in xtf. Now it is executing. That is because I'm now fitting on the xtf object which didn't have missing values. So this was the whole point behind showing you why this is not a scalable approach. Because if I had, for example, 100 columns to work with, and then I would have to manually go and check which columns were my numerical columns. That is, here it was easy to check that it goes from 0 until 5, and my categorical columns are from 8 until 17. But in a large data set with huge number of columns, it will get very difficult to check these things, right? And hence this is not the recommended approach to make different column transformers one after the other. So now we will look at the recommended approach. Okay, so what is my recommended approach? Well, first what we need to do is just think about it. For the numerical columns, we want to first impute the missing values and then robust scale them. And similarly for the categorical columns, we first want to impute the missing values and then one hot encode them. So whenever we want to achieve two separate transformations, one after the other, on the same set of columns, the first thing that should come to our mind is a pipeline. Okay, so a pipeline is useful. We want to basically apply chained transformations on the same set of columns. And what is a column transformer useful? Well, a column transformer is when we want to apply different transformation steps to different sets of columns. So for different set of columns, we use a column transformer, and for the same set of columns, when we want to apply multiple transformational steps one after the other in a chained fashion, we use a pipeline. So now my first step is a column transformer, and here my first transformer is my pipeline where I want to first impute the missing values in the numerical columns and then robust scale them. So what I'll do is I'll call this pipeline underscore num columns. Here I'll specify a pipeline underscore num pipeline in just a moment, and on what calls I want to do it on the num calls. Okay, and similarly for the pipeline underscore categorical columns, I want to apply pipeline underscore categorical pipeline on the cat calls. Okay, very good. Now my first is my pp underscore num. So what is this? This is my pipeline object, and here my first step is to impute the missing values, right? I'll call this num underscore impute, and my first step is simple imputer strategy is equal to median, and here I'll not specify add indicator, I'll just set it to false here. I will tell you why I'm setting this to false. Okay, so after this step happens, after my imputation happens in the numerical columns, my next step is to simply robust scale them. So robust scale underscore numerical columns, and here robust scaler. Okay, very good. So if I do ct underscore fit underscore transform over my x train, so what will basically happen is this x train, this is a data frame, right, having num calls and cat calls. So when it goes to this column transformer, it will see the first step as pp underscore num, which is my transformer object, which is a pipeline. So it will take these num calls to this pipeline object, and then it will first do the simple imputer on those columns, and then it will robust scale those columns and then bring back the output, and then it will go to this second step, which is the categorical columns, and then it will do the following thing. So I'll do pp underscore cat is equal to pipeline. Okay, very good. So I have set up my two pipelines, and now here it will first go to this column transformer, it will do these two steps to the numerical columns, and then it will go to pp underscore cat pipeline, it will do these two things to the categorical columns, and then now I have not set my indicator is equal to true anywhere, but now how will I do that? Because if you just think about it, if I set add indicator is equal to true here, then after the pipeline is done with this step after imputing, then I'll have two extra columns, right, for the age column and the hours per week column, two indicator columns. Then those are numerical columns, right, ones and zeros. So when I do this robust scaler next step, then basically those two columns will also be robust scaled, and that is undesirable because these two columns are my indicator columns and I just need to keep them zeros and ones. Okay, and here as well, if I do a simple imputer here, then for example if I set it to true here, then what will happen is when I one hot encode them, then those categories will also be encoded. So if you check here, it is also I am getting trues and falses, right? So this is a new categorical column which is indicative of whether a row was missing, a value was missing in that particular row or not. So I have two categories, true and false. So when I one hot encode them, the next step, it will also one hot encode these two columns. So I'll have one column for something underscore true, something underscore false, which is undesirable really, and hence what we are going to do, we are going to set it to false here, but in this column transformer I'll make a new object called mi, new transformer basically, and this will be a missing indicator object. So once I have imported missing indicator, I can call this missing indicator here, and if I check my arguments, it is missing values is nan, which is correct, and features is equal to missing only. This is important because only for those columns which are missing values, I'll have a new column included in my output data frame. Okay. So once I do this, now what columns do I want to do the missing indicator? Basically on the entire xtrain dot columns, because scikit-learn will automatically learn which columns have missing values, and it will find that only 5 columns have missing values, so it will create 5 new columns. So it will be clear in a moment what we are doing. Now when I do fit and transform, now you see in just one step I have completed my entire thing, and if I save this for example in my xt variable, and if I do a data frame of this xt, now you see I have around 97 columns, and if I see the first 4 columns, or rather the first 5 columns from 0 until 4, I have zeros and ones. So these are basically indicative of those 5 missing indicator columns. because I set that to be the first transformer in this column transformer. Hence these are the first 5 columns, and then from the next column I have, you see, point 0.25 minus 0.85. so if I check here, I'll see minus 0.25 minus 0.85. So I'm now beginning to do my robust scaling on those numerical columns. Okay, so from this column onwards I'm doing my usual stuff, but for these 5 columns, these will be untouched now. These will be untouched to one hot encoding and also to robust scaling or standard scaling or any other type of scaling. Okay, so these are in the true nature now. These are indicative columns now. Now if I want to also transform my X test, so if I check what is my X test, it is still that raw data frame which we see here, okay, which has no transformation done on it. But when I do, for example, if I say ct.transform xtest, now you see it is just in one line of code. It has done every single thing what it was supposed to do here. It just saw the ct object and then it went here, where it went here, then it did all the transformations, and then it went to this pipelines as well, and then it returned as the output data set. Now you see, I didn't say fit underscore transform on xtest because I fitted my ct object on my training set, and I'm simply transforming my xtest here. So I'm not basically leaking any data into the testing set, and I'm only training on the training set and then taking those results onto the testing set. So what is my next step? Well, my next step is to create a decision tree classifier. Okay, so I'll just create one more pipeline here, and I'll just name it pipe underscore final to calm your nerves that this is the final pipeline. Now in this pipeline, what should be my first step? Well, it should be my column transformer step, because now if I check out my column transformer xt, if I check out this one, this is now the complete transformed output, right? This has all the numerical columns which scikit-learn really loves, and it also has no missing values. So that also scikit-learn loves a lot, because if I check if it has any missing values, is any sum, it has 0 missing values, and hence we can be sure that this has no missing values. And now this is the name of the step, and what is my transformer? It is my ct transformer. Then my final step of this pipeline is going to be my estimator, which is my model, and this is going to be my decision tree classifier. Okay, so now the only one thing that I am left to do is fit my pipeline onto my training data, and that is my xtest, xtrain and ytrain. So now once I'm done with this, you see now it has fitted my pipeline fully. Now I can simply predict my results by saying pipe.final underscore predict on my xtest here, and it is now predicting the results. So if I want to check what is my score, although score is not exactly the best metric to choose, because score is just giving me the accuracy, how many times it failed and how many times it succeeded. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'll be using this final dot score. It is giving me an accuracy of 81.65%. Okay, so now just one thing to do now. Now what if I want to check, for example, I see that I have around 97 columns, and I know that a bulk of them are the one hot encoded columns. So if I want to check what are those one hot encoded columns, so how will I do that? So this is pipeline navigation, and we will navigate into pipeline now. Now we know that this pipe underscore final object, right? So this is our pipeline. So I'll call this pipe underscore final here. So this is my basically pipeline object. So it has two steps basically, a ct underscore step and model step. And first, to enter into this pipeline, I need to call dot named steps. So once I do that, I'll enter into this pipeline, and now once I enter this, I see a dictionary with two keys, the ct underscore step and my model step. Okay, so now I know that my one hot encoder is somewhere here, and it is in the ct underscore step. So my next step will be to go into the ct underscore step. Now once I am into my ct underscore step, I see a column transformer. Now the basic principle is to attack from the left. Okay, so every time you see the leftmost object, you have to know that how to enter into that object. Now into this column transformer, I know that to enter into this column transformer, what I need to do is called dot named transformers. I can also call dot transformers, and I can also call dot named transformers. These are the same things, similar things. Now once I am into my pipe, once I am into my column transformer, I see three keys: mi, pp underscore num, and pp underscore cat. I know that one hot encoder is in my pp underscore cat. So what I'll do is I'll call pp underscore cat here. Now once I am into pp underscore cat, I see a pipeline object here. So this is my pipeline. Now to enter into this pipeline, I need to again call dot named steps. So I'll call dot named steps. Now to enter into this one hot encoder, I have to go into the OHE underscore cat. So my next step is to go into the OHE underscore cat key, and now this is my value of this OHE underscore cat, and this is the one hot encoder that I am looking for. Now to enter into this one hot encoder, what I'll do is I have to simply call get feature names. So once I do this, now you see, now I have all the column names which scikit-learn learned from the one hot encoder. So x underscore 0 implies this is the 0th, or rather this is the first categorical column, and x underscore 6 means this is the 7th categorical column. So this was really all about the column transformer and pipeline and how to use them on missing data. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you still have any issues or any doubts regarding this, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to assist you in each and every way possible. Now just for your understanding, try to for example check out what were the median values when we imputed the simple imputer on those numerical columns. Okay, so just try to navigate into the column transformer and pipelines and see for yourself if you are able to reach this step. And if you are not able to, just let me know in the comment section below. Again, I'll be happy to assist you. So thank you for watching.